Right, hello everyone. After the disgraceful video posted by me and Daniel last week, I thought it would be best to make amends by posting a serious web log via the video whilst I'm on my own up here in Doxel and show you some things about Korea. Let me just take my glasses off because it's a bit of glare. Right, first lesson about Korea. This is not a frozen donut, which is what I thought it was on my first Saturday afternoon. It's boiling hot. I went to the shop and I thought it was like, well, it looks like a donut, so I thought maybe it was like a donut with ice cream inside. If I was a bit more observant, I would have seen the sign in English on the packet which said Kentucky hot dog and not bit into a raw frozen hot dog. So if you do see these, cook them. Second exhibit, I'm going to put this in the bin, one second. Second exhibit, the cans of Coke are ridiculous. I mean, what's that? I've not had any Coke since getting here, I don't think, so I might enjoy that later. Third thing, this is the chocolate to have. I've been living off this stuff. It's really nice, actually. And last exhibit here from Korea is how big the beer bottles are. It's not just my tiny hands or my perspective, it's actually 1.6 litres. I'm going to have a bit of this, actually. Okay. Before I carry on, there's one thing I need to point out to Rob. When I left England, Robert bought me a little present to take with me so I didn't get homesick. And as his surname is Cooper, he thought a Mini Cooper would be ideal with the old Union Jack on and stuff to remind me back home. And, when I didn't have the internet and when I didn't have TV or any money or anything like that, I did sit on the floor for a while and just play with it. But then I realised, left-hand drive, mate, it's not British. German, innit? Not happy with that. Not that I've got anything against the Germans, but, if you're going to get someone a British memento, make sure it's British. I'm starting to get used to the weather here now. It's still really, really hot. I only put a shirt on because, I was going to make this video. It's getting on to 7 o'clock now. It's still over 30 degrees. And it's getting more humid because the rainy season's coming as well. But once the rainy season comes, hopefully it'll cool me down. So, what's been happening this week is, as I said in my email, I've been marking all the speaking tests for the kids, and they've been doing like a little 1-minute speech on heroes of theirs and stuff. And they come into my office one at a time, and all the other kids practice in the main classroom. But yesterday, one of them flips me the bird. I was doing the test, and all I saw come through the door was just this little hand like that. So I walked over and opened the door, and the kid was there and denied it. And the Korean teacher, Mrs. Shin, she's really old school. I really like her. She sorted it out. I had to tell her a couple of weeks ago not to hit them, or ask her not to hit them, because if they were late, she'd just get the ruler and go bang and really smack them pretty bad. And then she toned it down by making them do 50 sit-ups and stuff. And she was like, well, what do you do for punishment in England? So I said, well, you give them 50 lines or something like that. So she sorted it out, and poor little bastard had to stay behind after school for an hour and a half, right on the floor. 400 lines. I beg you to forgive. I beg you to forgive my rudeness. I was kind of holding it to say, we are honoured by your presence, but it doesn't. But beg to forgive my rudeness. So I did, after he begged, forgive his rudeness. So yeah, the corporal punishment is kind of up there with the domestic violence in Korea, which some of you might know. I saw a woman get a bit of a nasty kicking outside my flat the other week, and then on Sunday night I got in a cab from a train station in Seoul, and just as it was leaving, this guy just punched a woman in the face in the middle of the street. It was really grim. So yeah, that's probably about the worst thing I've seen since being over here. It seems like if you're male, you're alright, but if you're a woman, then you might as well get used to getting beaten up, which isn't nice. So what do I miss about England? Wine gums, man. I've looked in all the western areas in Seoul, and they only sell like American, Canadian food, maybe a bit of South African biltong and stuff. But getting hold of British food is it's not easy. So wine gums I miss. Old friends and family, of course. That's number one. I miss the newspapers as well. I spend a lot of time on the British newspaper websites when I'm at work, when I'm not teaching. Except the Guardian has been blocked for some reason. The Guardian and the NME website have both been blocked by my school. What was the other site? Oh yeah, I've got to do a speech on North Korea on Friday. So I tried getting on the North Korean official government website, but that was blocked. But it came up with a symbol which looked like it might be the equivalent of the Korean CIA. So I'm waiting to see what happens on that one, whether I get any feedback. Miss gigs as well. There's a festival coming up in Seoul which looks alright. It's got Oasis, Basement Jaxx, Joni Mitchell, Weezer. But the problem is, I think that I'm going to be on holiday at that point. But if not, I'll only be able to get to the Saturday because I won't be able to get to it till 8 or 9 in the evening on a Friday, and then I'd have to be in work on a Monday, which kind of sucks. I'm going to buy a guitar in Seoul. I'm doing a bit of window shopping on Saturday. I'm falling in love with a guitar in Dogsole, but I reckon I could get one cheaper actually in the city. And then Sunday, I'm going mountain climbing like a real Korean, like a good Confucianist robot. I'll be off to Mount Yebong, which is what my school was named after, and I've been recommended K2 hiking boots, so I'll need to get some of those, and also been told for stamina to take either cold dog soup, if no one will let me go near it though, and a bottle of soju. Apparently that gives you stamina. All I've experienced with soju is getting pissed really quickly, but when in Rome. So yeah, the teaching I love. The politics at the school is pretty grim. But the actual kids are awesome. Especially I have 2 classes a week, which is like an after school club that I do, where there's only about 7 or 8 of them. I got them all to write letters back to England for my nieces to read and respond to. And I was like, right, okay, so you're going to introduce yourselves now. What's the first thing you're going to put in? And this lad was like, kimchi! I was like, no, I know you like kimchi, but how about say what your name is first? And he's like, okay, then kimchi. I was like, no, we'll get to kimchi later. But they do love kimchi. It's just nuts. I mean, it's worse than English people drinking tea. And it's crazy. I've only got a minute before this runs out, if anyone's still watching. So, Sarah, congratulations on getting engaged, finally, well done. Emily, congratulations on getting back to England. Well, I think you're probably still travelling there, but after a year away. That's pretty awesome. Dawn, tell me when you get your results for university, because I'll need to ring you that day. And if you've got our kid's phone number as well, can you get it? Because every time I try and ring it, it's not getting through. That's about it. I went for a duck yesterday. They just won't stop feeding me, until I got to the stage where I was like the guy at the end of Meaning of Life, and they go, just try this, and they gave me some bark from a tree, which was meant to be sweet wood, and just told me to put it in my mouth, and it was quite cool walking around because I felt like a farmer, but it just tasted like tree. I don't know what. And then they tried giving me cinnamon, even though I'm allergic to it, and they know. So anyway, I miss you everyone, and hopefully this isn't quite as terrible and offensive, though probably more boring than my last message. So, ta-ra!